Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a very interesting show for you. The old SEC power rankings after week 3. I'm going to have a lot to say about this. And we're going to go down the list that Saturday Down South put together, Adam Spencer. And he starts out with Mississippi State at the bottom of the barrel. And they got absolutely boat raced 41-17 by Toledo. Who the crap is Toledo to whoop up on an SEC school? Mississippi State, I need to explain a couple things to you. You don't allow some team named Toledo come in and whoop you.
And it was at home.
Now, Mississippi State, there's been a lot of talk about you not staying in the SEC. Well, you might better, just saying, been a lot of conference realignment. You might want to start showing up. Anyway, next up is Florida, next to last. Now, I know a lot of y'all think because I don't like Florida that I'm enjoying this. Nothing could be further from the truth. Yeah, they lost to Texas A&M. They whooped up on them down there in at the Swamp, which used to be a really tough place to play. I don't guess it is anymore. Shocking. Anyway, their next game up is Mississippi State, and it couldn't come at a better time for Billy Napier. Everybody was on Napier watch to see if he was going to get fired today or yesterday.
You have failed me for the last time.
There was a lot of talk that there was a trustees meeting on a Sunday morning, which is usually a bad sign, but it sounds like they're not ready to fire him just yet. They're 1-2. They look good against Sanford and Son, and that's about it. They've looked terrible against Miami and Texas A&M with their backup quarterback, and both games were at home, which is just very disappointing for Florida. They're so distraught down there. The YouTubers, they're just on Fire Billy Napier watch, and nobody wants him to stay at this point. I don't know of anybody, and all they want's Lane Kiffin. All right, next up is number 14, Vanderbilt. Oh, man, lost to Georgia State. Dagnabbit, I was wanting them to be 3-0 so bad. Beating Virginia Tech like they did, they were 2-0. They got an excellent quarterback in Diego Pavia. So, that's so disappointing. Darn it. They went to 14. They were at number 8. Let's see who they play up next. Missouri. Doggone it. Oh, well. The nice thing is SEC Shorts had some fun with you. Oh, Kentucky sitting at number 13. Same as last week. They almost beat Georgia. Man, oh, man. At least you got Ohio this weekend, so you can kind of right the ship a little bit and go 2-2. You gave Georgia a game. I was really glad. I didn't know if Kentucky would even show up for this game, so to speak, after the way South Carolina just whooped up on them. Which completely shocked us after we saw how South Carolina played against Old Dominion Trucking Company. But they did show up, and they almost won this ball game, which is, here's the thing about Georgia, though. They never let the opponent score any points, so that's why they always win. Even when their offense is horrible, like it was in that ball game, they still get the victory. That defense is everything to them. So Kentucky gets the moral victory. Now we got the Auburn Tigers. They whooped up on New Mexico 45-19, whoopity-doo. They put in Hank Brown. Peyton Thorne got benched, and he looked pretty good. He had 4 touchdowns. Of course, this was against New Mexico. Same thing happened with Peyton Thorne in the first game. He was 4 touchdowns. But now they're going with Hank Brown. We'll see how this plays out. They're going to have to play Arkansas next, so it will be an SEC-level squad, but it's not a great squad. So anyway, Auburn's now going to their backup quarterback. If only somebody had said something about this in the offseason. But I don't want to be an I told you so guy.
But I told you so.
Next up, South Carolina. Man, oh man, a lot of people feel like the refs kind of creaked them in this ball game. They had it won. They were up 17-0. And just everything that could go wrong went wrong after that. They had 2 pick sixes called back, and I watched a lot of this ball game, and I've re-looked at those 2 plays. The horse collar on the quarterback is what caused him to throw it up, and which caused the interception. And then the other pick six was just he just knocked the quarterback down, and he wasn't looking. It's just one of those 15-yard penalties. He didn't need to. There was no way that quarterback was going to come anywhere near the defender that had grabbed that ball. So one of those plays that wouldn't have happened, but the other one was just unfortunate. That game was over. Right then and there, that game was over. And it was a miracle that LSU wound up winning this game. South Carolina's defense is for real. They just flat out are. Their offense is still struggling. Lenore Sellers, I tell you what, he's showing signs. He really is. He flashes. You can see the talent's there. He's not ready for prime time, and he hadn't been from day one. You saw him in the first game. Second game, he played a little better, and he flashes. If the guy had some more experience under his belt, he could have come in this year and been probably really good. But I do see what they see in him for sure. It's just he makes too many mistakes, and he's a freshman. That's going to happen, redshirt freshman. All right, now we got Arkansas sitting at number 10. They're 2-1. They beat UAB barely, 37-27. Next, they got to play Auburn. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Auburn's got the backup quarterback. Arkansas's got a good quarterback at times. I don't know. I would say Auburn will win this if I had to guess, but it might be a knockdown dragout. Now let's look at number 9, Texas A&M. They've jumped from number 12. They whooped up on Florida with their backup quarterback, with this Marcel Reed. He looked pretty darn good, though. They might just stick with him. Good runner of the ball, and Florida just didn't show up. So Texas A&M just ran all over them. It was ridiculous. At one point, they went 99 yards and just kind of took over the game. So Texas A&M's got to be feeling pretty good right now. They're sitting at 2-1, and their only loss was Notre Dame, which a game they should have won. Oklahoma, 3-0. We don't know about Oklahoma. They beat Tulane 34-19. That game got close there for a while in the fourth quarter, but Oklahoma took it over there at the end. They got to play Tennessee, and Tennessee's heading to Oklahoma. A 7:30 matchup. ESPN Game Day will be there. They're going to be going up against the Tennessee Vols offense and a pretty darn good defense too. Tennessee's favored by 7 in this game. We're going to find out what Oklahoma's made of and also what Tennessee's made of, because it's really their first true test for both teams. So look for Saturday night to be eventful. Here we've got LSU. They had the rabbit's foot after losing to USC, a game they should have won. They had the rabbit's foot against South Carolina. So fortunate. I still don't know how y'all won this ball game. I swear I don't, but you did. So I got to give you kudos. Sometimes you just got to win. Got to find a way, and they did. All right, number 6, Mizzou, 3-0. They struggled with Boston College. Not real impressed by that, Mizzou. I thought y'all stood on business.
We stand on business, John.
I guess you didn't on this ball game, but you won. That's the important thing. Next up is Vanderbilt. Don't take them for granted. That Diego guy will get you. All right, Alabama, they got back on their horse, 42-10 at Wisconsin. Whooped up on them. Looked like the old Crimson Tide that we expected. Jalen Milroe had 5 touchdowns, played great. So they're back in good graces with the SEC now.
I don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide, baby.
Don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide. Tide, go get them. Tide, go take them down.
All right, number 4 is Tennessee. They beat Kent State, just something awful. That game was, I never seen so many points scored so fast. It was ridiculous. And then Kent State was helping them. But those over-the-head hikes by the center, that didn't help them either. But it was just ridiculous. Tennessee could have scored 100. They really could have. It wouldn't by the third quarter. They could have done it within the 3 quarters. Anyway, we're going to find out a lot about them against Oklahoma. Oklahoma does have a very good defensive line, and they've got a really good quarterback in Jackson Arnold. Tennessee needs to focus on him. If they can stop Arnold, they'll be fine. And they need to run the ball, and that's Oklahoma will stop the run. So you're probably going to have to see Nico use his legs, because it's so hard to stop a running quarterback in an offense like this. So you'll probably see Nico run quite a bit, if I had to guess. Anyway, huge game Saturday night. Couldn't be bigger. All right, and they've got Texas at number 3. That's surprising. I thought they'd move them up to 2 or 1. They whooped up on UTSA. Arch Manning, we got to see him. So 2 great quarterbacks. They go to UL Monroe, so it doesn't matter. They'll win that easy. All right, got Ole Miss still at number 2. They whooped up on Wake Forest, which that's a nice win. Jackson Dart played a great game, as always. Lane Kiffin is going to have to be fielding question after question all season long. Are you going to take the Florida job? Are you going to take the Florida job? It's going to be a very annoying thing, and it could derail Ole Miss's season if he doesn't squash that. And he'll have to, if he doesn't come out and say something, if he just plays real neutral, that can get in his team's head. So, something to think about. I used to think he should absolutely go to Florida, but darn, he's putting together a heck of a team, and he's got plenty of money for NIL. He could win a national title down there. It's not impossible like it used to be. So we'll see what he does. But they're number 2. And then number 1 is good old Georgia. They stayed at number 1. Now, not everybody's got them at 1. A lot of people have moved them down. They played like crap up in Kentucky. Really got embarrassed, honestly. Their offense was just pathetic. Kentucky just pushed them around a little bit, which you don't see that. I don't know if they probably thought, well, crap, Kentucky's not even going to show up tonight, so we'll just kind of go through the motions. Next thing you know, Kentucky punched them in the mouth and didn't care, and Georgia just thought, well, we can turn it on anytime we want. Keep screwing around like that, you're going to get a loss or two if you're not careful, because y'all have got a pretty tough schedule, Georgia. So anyway, they're still sitting at number 1 here, but a lot of people moved them down. So anyway, did want to do the SEC power rankings top to bottom. A lot of people moving around. Billy Napier, we'll see how long he lasts there at Florida. I wouldn't think more than a couple more weeks.
I just know something bad is going to happen.
And if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Let's remember to continue to cover all these big college sports stories. If you've not subscribed, boom, boom, boom. That little button right there. Look at that little button. Just a little, that tiny button. Help you get my videos. Won't cost you a dime. And right over here is a video YouTube thinks you'll enjoy based on your viewing history. Don't question the algorithm. It's always watching. We'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.